right. Hey everyone, welcome to the Wandering Sword. Another wonderful day of Chop Talk. I'm
That's
Spencer,
right. I'm Kyle.
and we got some interesting news for you today. Kyle, you want to lead us?
Absolutely. So we went to this awesome thing, and it's what we're going to talk about like the whole time. Uh, so Spencer, we went to Sword Hogwarts, and we're making a video. We got some cool stuff happening. Uh, Man, do you want to talk about like where should we start? Like it was such a big event. What do you want to start on?
So first of all, let's start with this is run by the Chicago Swordplay Guild, which is the guild that we train and we teach with, that we're actually paid instructors to do. We've done two Hammer classes so far. Kyle was flown down, and we taught a Shotel class. We also I taught a class afterwards, a Takoba class. Next month we have a spear class coming up, but they are one of the world renowned. Like when I say world renowned, I actually mean it, not just national renowned, world renowned sword schools.
They're pretty cool. Like that's all I got to say. Like being in their studio with like all the swords and spears and everything and European armor, I'm like, yeah, this is my kind of place. I dig it.
Exactly. And they have these off-year events, which I call Sword Hogwarts, no matter what. They're really called, they have Amazari Academy, which is a Italian
Yep.
style. However, they also have, this is an off-year event, so this is smaller, even though Kyle can
Mhm.
attest that this was a lot of people. They still flew in from around the world. And
Yep.
next year will
Yeah.
be Western Martial Arts Workshop, which is their big event, which will have, this is actually where I met Damon Stith at. This is actually where I got started in historical African martial arts and led us on the track that we are today, and a little bit more.
Yeah. Now you're teaching it, man.
Yeah. Yeah. So it's really a full circle type thing. It's really, really cool. It's amazing. Instead of just talking about it, actually, Jason, would you show them what the dorm room looks like? So this place is, we're gonna show you the inside first and then build you up and show you the outside. It used to be, oh, here we go. Let's go. No worries, no worries. Go for it. So I was in room 320, which is awesome number. I love it. You have most of the time two or three, sometimes up to four people per room, and this is where we stayed in, and we had 3 meals a day. And you woke up, you did sword classes from morning till evening, and it's just a nice little dorm room. It's really cool. It used to be a college. It just looks absolutely like Hogwarts to me. Which,
Yeah.
speaking of that, Kyle, what
Good,
class,
sir.
what school would you be part of? You think?
Gryffindor. Everybody wants to be Gryffindor. I
Gryffindor.
can hear like no's in my microphone. Like no, absolutely not. Well, hold on. I gotta say something about this room. My room was like on the lower floor and it was really tiny, and I didn't know my roommate at all, so it was kind of a surprise. And then when I went up to your room, Spencer, I was like, "How did he get this sweet room with the nice window and everything?"
Well, I mean, this is my third time here.
Right?
I'm part of the Platinum Pass.
You got the connections, man. They're like, "Oh, Spencer, that dude, he needs the sweet room." But even my smaller room, it was actually pretty nice. And my roommate, I'm gonna tell. I don't want to say who it was because he might not want to hear this story. But he spent the first night drinking really late, so he missed morning classes the first day I was there. And every time for like the first day, I would come in, it would be like when he happened to take a nap or whatever, and I'm just like, dude, it's 2 p.m. Can I? Are you okay? Do you need water? Like, I know I'm a total stranger, but are you in danger?
You're like, are you okay? How many fingers?
Right?
How many swords can you
Yeah,
see? How many
yeah. Like,
swords can you see?
I was starting to worry because he's just like, no, I'm good, dude. But then I said that, and he was like, okay, no, like I'm good. I'm gonna get up. And then he turned out to be a guy that's like, uh, awesome at sparring, and he was out, doing his thing after that. But just my first morning was like, I'm up and ready, but he was he was still catching up.
Partying hardy and then doing sword stuff, which is the more fun part. Yeah, it's just a really cool experience. It's one of those things, and we did a lot of different sword sports, a lot of different sword. Oh, I got a little sun flare from stuff coming in. Excuse me, real quick. Keep the sunlight. Oh no.
Does this count as technical difficulties if it's like a
It's horrible.
blinds issue, physical difficulties.
I mean, technically, one sec.
Well, let's distract everyone while Spencer figures that out. Jason, can you show us the outside? Like, why we keep calling Sword Hogwarts and like not even calling it its real name because we called it this internally so many times is like, take a look at some of the drone footage we got. It's just such a cool sight.
All right, that's better. No one's being blinded anymore. All right, roll.
Yeah, it's rolling in the background. We can keep talking, but like, it's right on. Is it Lake Michigan or Lake Erie? This got to be Lake Michigan,
So
right?
it's Racine, Wisconsin. It's the DeKoven Center. As you can see, the little sign as we fly it past, or as I fly it past, and try not to hit any trees. We have our good friend. You can see.
Yep, there's Dawn right there, helping out,
talking to a passersby.
Yeah, making sure no one gets like beheaded by the drone as we send it in.
And we go through it.
Oh,
the wind caught it
racing.
too, and I'm like, ah! And then, so this is beautiful, like church ground that's there too. So it's amazing. This spot we flew right through before. They on the main years they have a big deed of arms. So people not dressed, fully kitted out, and like what I use for Bohurt with a little bit more historically accurate. And they do big fights there, and they have spear, halberd, all you name it. It's just beautiful.
Yeah,
you can look around.
That was a really fun thing for me, was learning the different types of sports, because like there's the Bohort is steel, and these guys use steel, but it's a totally different rule set. You know, there's like different things that they're counting points for and working on. So that was really neat for me to learn.
Yeah, and it's really fun. I mean, you can still use a lot of historically moves, which is fun doing this now when I do Bohurt. I actually have a Bohurt competition coming up next weekend in Colorado.
Nice.
Yeah, it's a duel, so it's not a pro fight like I had before, which we still need to cover sometime, which that'll be another Chop Talk episode. But using a lot of historical moves that people aren't used to when they're using more of MMA and more jiu-jitsu, which still works, but it's fun to actually use things that were in the manuscripts or Fiore's teachings. Or as we got to see Greg Melee, who's the dean and the founder of Chicago Swordplay Guild. And he's written books, countless books on these things. And it's really inspired me to do that for Hama as well. And it's Lake Michigan. Thanks, Dad. Appreciate that.
Yeah. Thanks so much. It is Lake Michigan. Yeah, that was a lot of fun. So yeah, for us, we are planning to, we took a lot of time set aside to film footage, like this drone footage we're grabbing and a bunch of other things. We filmed some of our sparring, and we're going to have a big YouTube video that we put up that we're compiling footage for right now. And that's hopefully in the next 2 weeks is our goal, but it's on the editing room floor, so it's there's a lot to it.
Yeah, I mean, it takes time. So we try to get you guys stuff as often as we can. As you can see, it's not just in our in-between, not because we're not doing anything else. If anything, it's more the contrary. We're doing a whole lot.
We're doing too much. Like, I just saw you last weekend. I had no idea you had a dual fight next weekend. Like,
yeah, like I still have stuff all the Dragon Con stuff that I have. And now I have all the stuff from Sword Hogwarts. And then I have some other stuff I'm going to get from Colorado. And it just keeps on stacking in a good way. That I'm like, okay, now let's go pile this out. Make a video on this. So it's really cool to see it all come together.
So Spencer, let me ask you this. What do you think the biggest difference is between what Armazair is doing with steel fighting and like the Bohurt steel fighting? Like, what do you think the biggest difference is?
So the Armazari, they're all about recreating it, right? Like when we do the stuff for Hama, we're actually trying to put together things, but it's different because we don't have all the written documents. Armazari Academy, they have written documents that are as found as far as back as they can, and they actually are trying to recreate it.
I asked Bohurt, not Hama.
No, and that's a segue too. Where
okay, I was like, that doesn't totally answer my question.
Sorry, go ahead.
I was like, that doesn't answer my question.
No. I was trying to get to it.
Okay.
Where Armazara and that part, they recreate it. So trying to like say with the Hama, when we show the stuff we do, we don't have the stuff, so we're recreating it as we go along. And then when Armazari does it, they have these books and texts, and they're trying to do it historically as possible. And then with Bohurt, they're doing it in a sports setting, 100%, where you have some people. I'll say, correct me if I'm wrong, Bohurt community. I think there's a lot of people that aren't historically trained in that. There are a few. One myself, I'd say fringely done and so on. You get a lot of skadians, you get a lot of other amp guards, other sword sport people, or MMA and other things, but they're kind of just more taking this and doing it exactly what they can in a sports way to do it, which isn't bad. It's just not historical.
It's just a different game. Like that's the way I see all of our sword sports we play in. It's just a rule set, and people get really good at that rule set, and it's just one game, another game. That's a really good answer. I was expecting just in Bohurt you can't thrust, and in Armazair they're really about the thrust.
It depends on the rule set, right?
No, yeah, dude, that's totally right.
Actually, no, I think you're almost right, 100%. Because I'm trying to think about with the deed. I think if that they just say sometimes you can't thrust that, but most of the time, yeah, it was used. So a lot of times, especially when we were doing a lot of the games, armor is worn. Like you have to thrust and where the chainmail, you have to throw. They don't have it, and if you're just hitting somebody, which is Hammer, I mean, no, I'm sorry, which is Bohurt, with a hitting it wise, but it's like you don't do anything with it, but you're not point scoring, but you're not. It's kind of like a mix between SCA. We don't have the tag quite, but they're like, that wouldn't have hurt me, so I'm keep on going. But oh, you got me in the arm, or you do a throw, and we're just doing it to a throw.
Yeah. It was really cool for me to like. My first class of the whole thing was with Scott Farrell, who's an awesome instructor. Chivalry Today is his big thing, and right away it was half swording, and I'm like, okay, cool, you got my interest. That's where you hold the sword, up at the end and use it to like a spear almost. And then I'm like, all right, I've got that. I've used that in plenty of bouts, and played with that. But what I'd never done was play with like how to use that to lock someone with a gauntleted hand into their sword and armbar them. And then like how to counter these arm bars and how to do it a separate way if they try to get out of it. And it was nasty. It was like when it was done on me, even in armor, I'm like, oh, I'm trapped and this sucks. Like I don't stop it.
Yeah, and we'll actually have some footage to show that next weekend, because next weekend we're actually gonna get Jesse here, Jesse Kula, who is the only provost in their system wise. So provost would basically be like, it's past black belt, because when I did the class and I was doing free scholar, I'd say that's their black belt level. And as the sun's creeping up again, stupid sun, that's worse again. Oh man, I'll fix it later in post. But the free scholar is more the black belt post. Jesse Kula is actually more like a fourth Dan type level, where he's taught other people. And he's gone through fighting. He's gone through having to know a lot of the scripts. And Greg and Sean Hayes, who's also an amazing instructor. And he has another school, which I did not get the name of his school yet, but he does amazing active archaeology as well as writing in the Fiore world. So Jesse's going to be coming. And actually, would you put up some video? We have Kyle fighting him a little bit. Jason, there's a part. It's not drone footage. It should just be just a regular video.
Jesse was actually my first fight in the rule set. Oh, that's not me though. That's
yeah.
Is that
this one we have Jesse is in the black. He's fighting another gentleman. I don't know his name, but they're working on just some other sword play, and then we were just doing some drama.
Oh, yep, that's me.
But we'll get back to that one in a sec.
I'm on the left, and Jesse's on the right. And Jesse, he's such a cool dude. I'm like, I don't know the sport. I come from a background of armor combat where we hit really hard. Work with me, like, let's get it. And he's so tough. Like that one right there, I messed up and I hit him in my shin as I was coming out. And he's just like, yeah, dude, I'm good. Like he was tough. Our bouts were awesome.
Jesse's done so much stuff, and we'll let him introduce himself next week, and we'll tell you more about it. But I just can't tell you how much he's like a big brother to Dawn, our medieval mender. He's taught her so many things, worked personal training, and to actually get a nod from him to be like, hey, we're doing some things right, is really cool. But we can't wait to have him on the show, hopefully next week. But we'll just watch a little bit more as Kyle's fighting. It's just fun, because unlike our SCA fighting and tagging, we're still going to point score, but we're actually doing a little bit more chop. It's like cut and thrust, honestly.
It is. It's SCA cut and thrust is the closest thing to it that we have in our SCA background. And that shot, man, and we'll talk with Jesse about it. I did that same move to Scott Farrell when I battled him before and we were laughing about it. And Scott was right there and Jesse did it on me. And it was hilarious.
Yeah,
But
he's
yeah,
like he's watching.
he's like, oh, I just did that move. And you'll see in our sparring, you can hit the hands. I'm wearing my heavy gauntlets. I probably could have got away with finger gauntlets, but I was new, so I didn't know. If I like the next time we do this, I'm gonna wear my finger gauntlets.
Yeah.
But I didn't know, so I'm like, I'm gonna wear these like things that I've done in like bow hurt practice before because they'll live.
Honestly, it depends on the person you're fighting, right? Like
That's true
it's
too.
fun with
That's
SCA. I think there's so many different things. Where like, hey, you kind of talk. You're like, what kind of calibration are we doing? What are we touching? What are we going on? Because there's some people just gonna go wham, and you're like, oh god, I should not have worn my uno mouse. Let me go get.
I
my
planned,
other thing.
dude. You're so right. I planned for exactly that, and luckily, I didn't have it happen, and I wasn't that guy, which is the other thing I didn't want to do.
Which I mean, that's what the Wandering Sword and just we've all practiced, and we definitely want the Wandering Sword to be. It's not all about the W or the win. It's about learning the experience. Even though, yes, you want to try to win in some of the fights, but there's some people you get, and they're. I was having a joke with Shannon, which later we'll do some more footage next week about. She's an amazing fighter. She's just a formerly retired Marine, and she was doing fights, and we're like, hey, when you first started, they're like, hey, you need more control, and you're like, but I hit the person exactly where I wanted to hit them, but that's code for don't hit so hard. So
Yeah,
it's
that's
interesting
true.
how people learn. And she's like, oh, why didn't you just tell me that? And you get better. But it's just funny.
Yep.
I mean, I've done the same thing. Everyone has.
And Shannon, I have bouts with her. She beat me up, man. Like she's so tall and has such huge range with her steps that like after she and it's a new game, so she's like doing all these undercuts towards hands and elbows that we don't do in SCA, and I was like, dang it, all my habits are wrong. I don't know how to stop that. It was so much fun. I learned a ton, probably more with Shannon than any fights I had, though that's a really hard to quantify.
Yeah, I mean, there's so many things, right? And she's a understudy of Scott Farrell, who's awesome, who actually is an SCA Duke as well for our fans. So he's done all types of things, but only recently, I don't know how many years ago, probably at least 5, maybe even more, started with the Chivalry Today and started going more toward historical fighting. He's just an awesome guy. He's just a really good guy. Really good guy.
Yep, I liked him a lot.
Last thing, let's go ahead and show that drone footage of the little fight thing that we have. We'll just go that part there and we'll move along. The shots going.
So do you know who these guys are? I know one's Jesse. Who's the guy in red?
One's Jesse. The other one, the red, I did not know, unfortunately.
We'll have to look that up.
This one is a nice parry, nice block, and then cut in his throat, and then you reset, and they're just like, okay, let's do something else. Like, sweet, he killed him. Jesse's gonna do that again. I'm gonna go over the way. Let's go see what's going on. As we flip it.
Oh, more fights.
Turn around, reverse it. And this one we have Scott
that's
Farrell.
Shannon
No,
on the
this
right.
is Sean.
Oh,
No,
it's Sean. Oh, no, I see it now. My
No.
screen's really small, and I saw the greenish Gambazin.
It's okay. So this one, Sean's the one on the right. Also, like I said, big scholar, but they're testing out some of the things, which it's really cool because anyone there's like, this is how things should be, and this is how things work in Fiore, and then now let's go use it. And they're not afraid to learn, to try, and of course, this one I've been flying my drone for a little while, so yeah.
Who are those two handsome knights by the tree over there?
I don't know. There's some guy. One guy is like flying a drone. Other one just making sure they're.
Yeah, he needs sunscreen.
Nah, looks great. And try not to buzz them when I bring the drone over. But yeah, it was really fun to see, work on some stuff, get some people, some footage, and everyone's still welcoming and nice. We
got a ton of it, man. Spencer, this was your idea. I didn't really know about this Armor's Air Academy as a thing, and but when you brought it to me, I'm like, oh, that sounds awesome. We should 100% go. Thanks, man. Like, this rule. It was such a good adventure.
No problem. There's more to come. Like, so this was the off year. So next year, which hopefully the Wandering Sword is planning on teaching Hammer. We'll see. I need to talk to Greg and work a little bit more on my lessons plans, but that's actually a big goal of mine to teach. And I think Damon's going to be there next year as well. But I want to do some other Shotel classes because we didn't get footage of it, but it was awesome. I had some fights with Shannon. Everyone was like, hey, fight me with the Shotel. I want to try it. I want to see how it was. It was really fun. So much fun. Oh, Chuck Taylor in the cameo. Yeah, hey, I love my Chucks.
Yeah.
Converse is going to sponsor me one of these days. You either love it or hate it. And at this point, I'm like, yeah, I'll take the hate. I don't care. All right. Yeah. Go ahead and yeah. We don't. They don't need to see how bad I'm flying this. You can kill the footage. Kill it. Kill it. Kill it.
Part is when we have our main video, we can chop out all the
Yeah.
parts
Stuff
of
on those
like
chucks. Yeah. Look at
Spencer
those
adjusting the
shoes.
drone.
Those
Get the
shoes.
close up. What are those?
What are those? And yeah. So for nerd news, I couldn't think of a joke this time, so we're just gonna go to more nerd news. Could you put up the not the trailer, um, the video, not the video, poster? Yeah, no hate. Oh, I know, Will. You really love it. It's freaking Kyle that hates all the time.
It's true. I'm the hater. That's not even true.
No, he's not hating. So we got the new Carnage and Venom movie coming out. I hope it does well.
The question, Spencer, how is this related to Sword Nerd News?
I mean, first of all, I feel that you have to like test me on that, but okay.
No, I'm giving you the opportunity.
No, I'm joking. So I don't know if you guys think about. I love this one game. It was called Separation Anxiety in Sega Genesis, as well as Maximum Carnage.
Both I played it on the SNES, but that game was awesome.
Yeah, because it was on SNES and Sega. That was really cool. But Carnage can turn into anything. That's why I say Carnage. Like as you can see, they have sickles, swords, axes. I'm really curious what they're gonna do with the CGI. It better be a good fight scene, otherwise I'm gonna be grumpy.
What do you think about the CGI and fight scenes in the first Venom movie?
I honestly ashamed. I have not seen it yet because Venom's so close to me. I'm scared. I need to see it before this.
Good. It's got Tom Hardy in it. Like it can't be all bad.
No. I was actually just talking to. I was working on the roof today in my office outside. I need to watch it, so I'll watch it before the first one or before the next one. But I hope this is good. So that's our little bit of nerd news for today. What else do we have? Oh yeah. Let's see. There's a really cool picture that Kyle took. He made me look like a gosh dang hero.
It's true. We spent a hilariously too long amount of time. We're like, we have to hurry back so we can get breakfast. And I'm like, no, stand, have the sword. Just let me take this cool photo with your shadow in it.
Yeah. It just makes me think. And the Chuck Taylor. Even though I'm a big guy, I see like little 13-year-old Spencer with like a stick, which actually this is a great idea. I might have to like go through and we retro that and then have me in the background, like with the shadow of like an actual sword. You're like, one day I'm going to be a swordsman. And all your friends are like, that's stupid. Not all my friends. Some of them.
But you did, man. It's like the same journey all of us had. Like we all were that kid with the stick and we're like, no, I'm going to learn swords. Like somehow I'm going to learn it.
And that's really the whole thing that we're trying to do these times. Where for boys, girls, whatever the part there. Really cool, just a little heart story before we start closing out. When we were doing Knights of Wakanda stuff and we were in Atlanta, Georgia, and my friend Cyrus was like, let's go to Walmart and armor. And I'm like, this sounds ridiculous, but okay, let's go. So we're going there, just walking through. We got some videos, like we're getting some socks, we're doing stuff there. And this one little girl comes up to me and she like pokes us and she's like, you're not real knights. And we're like, yes, we are. We do steel fighting and we try to help people learn swordplay. And I teach stuff. Cyrus doesn't teach people stuff, but I teach people. No, he teaches people in bow hurt fighting completely. I'm just kidding, Cyrus. Don't make fun of me. But then she was like, really? Are you guys knights? She's like, can I be a knight? And we're like, you bet you can. And I can only imagine walking through Walmart when I was a little kid and I saw someone in armor. I'd be like, yeah, that's exactly what I want to do. And trying to make it happen.
It's all we would have talked about for like 2 months if we were kids. That's a really cool story.
This was fun. It was a good time. It's a good time. Hat's hot. So yeah.
Juniper, I see your comment. You're right. They do have swords. That's all I need. I need like the littlest amount, and I'm like, yep, swords. I'm in.
I mean, we would have said colors or anything. You're like, so you see, Carnage is red and Chuck Taylor's are red. I wear Chuck Taylor's sword fighting. As you can see, Chuck Taylor's give me my sword fighting power. And then I don't know. We just go on whatever.
I followed that from beginning to end, but I don't know if I'm better for it.
No, I'm sorry. You actually played yourself. But Kyle, you want to close this out? Did I miss anything? Let me think.
No, man, that's it. We just wanted to keep everyone updated on the adventures we're having, on the videos we're coming out with, and where we're going to take this. We still have some of our biggest Hammer-related announcements to come, but we're still working on that from the back end.
Yeah.
So
soon.
With that said, guys, make sure to follow, like, subscribe, do all that noise. Find our Patreon, follow us. It's super important. It seems like a little thing, but it actually helps us out a lot for accomplishing our goals to keep the adventure going and bring that to others. Just like Spencer did by wearing armor in Walmart, which seems ridiculous, but there's so much cool stuff that came out of it. So you never know.
Wear your armor to all Walmart. Make sure you're safe.
Yeah. That's what we should say. Don't like and subscribe, follow our Patreon. Just wear your armor into Walmart.
And subscribe, and follow.
But if you have to choose,
armor.
Yep, do the armor.
But
all right,
thank
guys.
you so much. It's awesome. We're the Wandering Sword, and check you later next week. And cut.
Check us out on Patreon. You can even sign up to get our Season 1 exclusive t-shirt. We are grateful for your contributions, and every bit helps us bring you more content. Like, subscribe, do all that stuff, but most importantly, wander on. Check us out on Patreon. You can even sign up to get our Season 1 exclusive t-shirt. We are grateful for your contributions, and every bit helps us bring you more content. Like, subscribe, do all that stuff, but most importantly, wander on.